Yes, so as I said, right, so we will be having a framework. First of all, we will be having an organization structure. Okay, so let's have an organization structure. Organization nothing but suppose Bank of America. Okay, we'll be having a Bank of America. So where Bank of America, and next we will be having a framework, I can say. Okay, and next we will be having an implementation. Implementation. Okay, see here, I will be saying about some savings, current, loans, and we having about insurance. Okay, so these are nothing but a, I can say, implementation. So where it need to drag from here. Okay, now see here. So this is the structure we can say. Okay, now see here. So Bank of America is nothing but an organization, we can say an organization. So on top of it, we will be having a framework, and on top of it, we will be having a savings, current, loans, and insurance will be there. Okay, now see here on the Bank of America. So this is an organization, right? Organization level, I can say. Okay, so this is nothing but a organization level. Okay, so if I want to build anything, if I want to create anything, like we will be having a first name, we will be having a last name, right? We'll be having a, see here, employee first name, or else it's having a customer first name. Okay, and a customer will be having a last name, and we'll be having a customer email ID. Okay, and company logo. Okay, we'll be having a company legal terms, company policies. Okay, and company and etc. We'll be having company rules or whatever, company rules and etc. Okay, see here, so these are nothing but a predefined, so which need to be designed on the organization level so that it can be reused to the next on top of it. Okay, so these are nothing but what, see here, this is nothing but first name, last name, customer information, along with the we will be having a logo, along with the we will be having a legal terms, some policies and some rules as well. Okay, so if I create all these things at the organization level, okay, so if I create all these things in the organization level, right, so that it can be reused to the framework, and as well as if it is framework is utilized, right, then however it will be inherited from the framework to all these things, for savings, for current, loans and insurance. Okay, for suppose if I want to design a logo, if I want to design a logo, okay, now where I need to create, on the implementation, or else on the framework, or else on the organization. Okay, so let's go from the top of it. If I create this one, right, if I create a logo on the implementation level, this is nothing but a first, this is nothing but a first, second implementation, third app, and he'll be having a fourth app. Okay, so if I create on the first application, right, it will not inherit to the framework. Why? Because see here, there is a child one. Okay, so child one properties will not inherit to the parent, right? But parent properties is inherited to the child. Okay, so if we create all these things at the top of the layer, nothing but savings, current, loans, and insurance, all these things will be having an implementation, right? So if we create all these things that are, I'm sorry. Okay, so if we create all these things in the implementation layer, right? So it will not reuse to the other framework or else Bank of America like this. Okay, so first is gone. First option we will never use. Okay, and coming to the next one, framework. So if we create this company logo at the framework level, okay, at the framework level, okay, so we can reuse this implementation applications easily, but this logo can't be used at the organization level. Okay, so that's why this option will be gone. Okay, so whatever the fixed terms we can say, like legal terms, like logos, okay, we need to divide at the organization level. Okay, so we need to divide at the organization level so that it can be reused to the framework and as well as the implementation. Okay, now Pega, whenever we create an application, right? Okay, so framework is an optional case. Okay, we can create or we may not create. Okay, so Pega, doesn't consider it as a mandatory condition or mandatory to create a framework. Okay, I will navigate you that as well. Just remember that framework is not a mandatory term while we creating an application, but implementation is a mandatory thing. Okay, is a mandatory thing in order to create an application. So that's why. So since Pega doesn't consider it as a mandatory thing for framework to create, right? So that's why we need to create these reusable functionalities, whatever we have policies, legal terms, logos, okay, all these things will need to be created on the organization level. Okay, now I am navigating you into the Pega platform. Now see here, this is nothing but a logo, right? Logo. Now that logo you need to create on the what? You need to create on the organization level. Okay, and the policies and everything. Okay, so you need to create on the organization level so that it can be inherited easily to the framework and the below on the top of this implementation applications as well. Okay, there will be a n number of implementation applications will be there. Okay, see here. Yes. So this is nothing but a logo, right? So whatever the logo and whatever whatever the policies we need to define, right? That all to be defined in the what organization level. Okay, we'll be having a layers, right? That need to be defined on the organization layer so that it can inherit easily on the top of it. Now see here, I am trying to create an application. No need to worry. So this class will be, once again, I will be saying in the next, classes as well. Just for a sample purpose, I am just, creating an application for you. Okay, so no need to worry. Just remember that's it. Okay, so this is nothing but see on the application, right? We'll be having n number of options, right? So this is nothing but a new application, okay, which you need to create. Okay, so in the real time, right? Okay, we no need to create any application. Okay, so your seniors will do. Seniors mean what? Lead architect. Okay, we can say business architects. Okay, so they will do. Okay, just we need to work on this. That's it. Okay, so there will be a number of implementations will be there. There will be a number of case types. Okay, so there will be a number of here it is null. It is null. Okay, so there will be a number of. Okay, up to here will be same. Up to here will be same. There will be n number of pages will be same. Okay, so right now just understand the navigation and remember the navigation, that's it. Okay, but in real time you no need to create any application. Okay, the application will be created, just you need to work on this, that's it. Okay, for understanding purpose I'm just trying to navigating you to the wizard. Okay, so these are nothing but applications. These are nothing but applications which we need to search in first of all. As we are creating from scratch, as we are creating a new application, right? That's why we need to select this option, this one. Okay, from scratch is nothing but what we need to create from the initial stage. That's why, because we are creating a new app, right? So that's why we need to create from the scratch level. So I'm continuing, and we'll be having a, see here, we'll be having a three three different three different kinds of we'll be having, right? We'll be having a theme cosmos, theme kit, theme UI kit. Will be having, you have a cosmos. Okay, so no need to worry, we'll be having a beautiful session in the coming classes where you come to know. Okay, so in theme cosmos, what are the options available, why we need to use this one, and why Pega is considered as a traditional, and why Pega is having this cosmos react, although we having a theme UI and as well as theme cosmos. Okay, so no need to worry, we'll be having a beautiful session over there, and this is also an important question for the interview perspective. Okay, generally you don't see these type of explanation or sessions in the market. Why? Because they will skip all these things. They will consider it as a just they don't ask, but few of the recruiters are asking nowadays. Okay, so have you ever worked on the on which layer you have worked on? Okay, so like this. Okay, so why you adapted this one theme UI, and why you're not built on application on theme cosmos, like this they will ask. Okay, so no need to worry, we have a sessions in coming days as well on this. Okay, for now I'm building, I'm trying to build the application on the theme cosmos. Now Pega also recommend, we will say why it is recommend. Okay, so I'm just clicking on the select option, and now see here, for suppose if I bank of, now we'll be having a Bank of America. Okay, now if I do click on the create application, right? Okay, now what will happen? So before that, I'm just clicking on the advanced configuration. So what Pega has thought of. Now see here, Pega automatically taken this as an implementation layer. Okay, this is application structure, right? Application structure. Okay, see here, automatically taken as an implementation. So that's why Pega doesn't considering framework is as a mandated thing. Okay, so first we need to create a framework, then after we need to create an implementation. Okay, so whatever the reuse functionalities we need to create. Okay, so all these things will be building on a framework, and that will be easily reusable to the implementation. Okay, so once we design all these things in the framework, right? See here, so once we design all these things, right, for customer first name, last name, and email and everything at the framework level, right? So you can easily drag and drop into the implementation. That's it, your job is done. Okay, so you no need to create for savings bank, for savings implementation application, you no need to create once again all these first name, last name, and email ID once again. Automatically it will inherit from the framework application. Now resume back to this one. See here, this is a framework, and this is nothing but a application ID. Now what is the importance of the application ID? Now PRPC, whatever we create a rule, right? So there must be an application identifier. We can see application identifier. For suppose, now who are you? Who are you? Now we will be saying some name like Sam, we can say, like we can say Jack, right? Like and we can say Curtin. Okay, so this is nothing but a name we can say. Name is a generic term. Name is a generic term. So which may have many duplicates. Okay, so in order to consider you as a unique, right? So we will be having many government proofs, we can say, like we have a Aadhaar card, PAN card, we have a voter ID card, and we'll be having a passport ID as well. So these are nothing but what which represent you a unique form, unique person. Okay, so unique is nothing but what which is not a generic, which is not a common. Okay, so the same thing, whatever we create on the PRPC, right? So it will be having a backend. We are term it as a name, right? By backend, it will create an application ID for us so that it recognize the unique. It will easy to perform actions, backend actions by the PRPC. Okay, so that much story is behind the application ID. Okay, so whatever we create and whatever we perform, right? Now Pega automatically creates an ID for us. Okay, so if you want to customize, we can very well do from here. Okay, but ID is a unique term. Okay, so which we need to define. Okay, and we can say BOA. Okay, BOA application. We can say okay, and version it's up to us since we are creating from the scratch level, right? So version is a keep as is. So no need to worry about this versioning and locking version and all these things we'll be having a another session on these things. Everything, organization settings, class structure, everything will be having a class, each and every option. Okay, so we'll be having a class session as well. Now see here, we'll be having a organization settings. By default, Pega will PRPC will throw a generic, a random number. Okay. Now see here, random number. Now we need to create an organization layer. Okay. Now we need to create an organization layer. Like, see here, once again, I'm going into the, see this one. We are creating this one now. Okay. We are creating this one. Okay. Now see here, on top of it, we are creating a framework. That's why it's asking for a organization name so that we can create the framework on top of it, on top of the organization layer. So simply we can say BOA. Simply we can say BOA. So BOA already there, right? So we can say B simply, just for simply purpose I will not save here, just for simply purpose I am explaining you. So this is another Bank of America, we can say US. Okay, and he will be having a division name. Okay, division name. We will be having a division and unit as well, right? Okay, so if we have a divisions at various level, like US and as well as UK, India, Spain, Brazil, and Sweden and a few of the European. Okay, so like this. So if you have a wide range of companies and wide range of divisions at a different level, right? So you can very well define from here as well. Okay, and unit name as well. So unit is nothing but what we can say vertical. So which vertical you are, either sales or services or IT or what. Okay, so you can very well define from here. Okay, so if it is defined, then you need to define this as well. Okay, so this is nothing but organization structure. Okay, so first you are creating an organization. On top of it, you are creating a framework. So whatever the reuse functionalities we create over here, like logo, company policies, and company, etc., etc. So that will inherit it easily to the framework. Okay, now we are creating a framework application. Now see here, we'll be having a, now we're done with the organization settings. Okay, now we are jumping into the class structure where we can see organization name. See, already it is inherited. See, and next we have a, since we are creating a framework, right? So this is a unique identifier. Okay, that's why it is termed as a FW. FW stands for framework, and this is nothing but a application. Okay, application we can say this is a, and this is nothing but a work group, class group name. This is nothing but a work. Okay, so no need to worry, I will explain all these things, class group, okay, classes, okay, class structure as well. For now, just to remember that we are able to create this class structure like BOS, BOUS, hyphen FW, BOA application, hyphen work. Okay, so work is nothing but what? It's a top level. Okay, a top level. Okay, on top of it, we will be having application. On top of it, we will be having a work. Okay, so this is the structure we can say. Okay, if I click on save, right, it will create the framework application. So likewise, we need to create this implementation application, where in implementation application, we will not see few of the options in the frame implementation. I will say right now. Okay. So this is the framework application. Right now, we are seeing this FW, right? Now, if one click on this framework, right? Now see here, FW is not there. FW is not there. And this one having, see here, generate division layer. If I click on the generate division layer, right, it will ask us to create this unit layer as well. Okay, so this is one. So that's why in the framework, right, so if you define this one, right, you will define this one. So that's why I said that. Okay, see here in the framework you will be seeing this framework FW, but in implementation we didn't see this one. See. Okay, so if we are creating this framework, right, simply we can save and we can continue with this, right, we can create this application. Okay, but for now we are not creating any application. Just for sample purpose, I'm navigating you. Okay, so this is how it works. See here, right now we are able to create this one organization, and on top of it we will be having a framework, and on top of it you will be having an implementation where we can have a n number of implementation, real-time implementation applications, right, for savings, for currents, loans, and insurance. Okay, so this is the structure, the structure of this, ECS, where we can have this organization, framework, and as well as implementation. Okay, and I have also navigated you the this Pega platform as well, how it works. Okay, so if you already created a framework application, right, so those framework application will be saying here like BOA banking. Okay, so if you continue on this continue, right, so see here built with BOA application. Okay, so this option will be seeing in the next class. So okay, and we'll be also seeing the inheritance class as well, where inheritance we can say inheritance, this is a very important, very important in the interview concepts. Okay, maximum questions will be asking from the inheritance concepts itself. Okay, so this is the heart of the PRPC we can say. Why? Because whatever we generate, whatever we create any rule, it always lies with the inheritance. Okay, so just keep in mind that inheritance is a important topic. Don't miss this topic. Okay, so post completion of the inheritance, and we will be jumping onto the, we'll be having a many options, right, we'll be having a studios. Okay, so I will be navigating all these things, and post completion we will be having a directly uh, we will create this application. Okay, so in many of the I observed, right, simply they will create an application without having a knowledge on the studios. Okay, so this is the bad thing actually. Why? Because we need to know on which platform we are working on, and on which platform we need to work. Why not on other studios? Okay, so this as a developer we need to know. As a Pega aspirant we need to know. Okay, so that's why we have planned a curriculum in a such a way that before creating an application we need to know on which platform, and why this platform is selected as a dev studio, why we need to create only on the dev studio, why not in app studio, admin studio, and production studio respectively. Okay, so that's why, followed by all these things, we will be generating this application as well, new application as well. Okay, yes, so do you have any queries so far?